If you get hit with the second wave and you find yourself on lockdown again, don't panic. We've got the answer. Flight Simulator 2020. Microsoft Corporation officially announced that the premiere of the long-awaited simulator is scheduled for the 18th of August. Only for PCs right now, but also later for the Xbox. Flight Simulator 2020 is to be the most modern simulator available to everyone, in which we can play the role of a small Cessna pilot, but also the largest passenger jets and hundreds of many other airplanes. The quality of the game is so amazing that we have a problem to tell if it's a simulation or if it's real. So are we living in a simulation? Who knows? What I do know is I'm Regan Tetlow, and this is the one and only Air Sports News. Let's go. It's great to hear that in Poland, glider pilots can compete again. A few days ago in Ostrów Aero Club, the Ostrów Glide competition began. This event is a combination of Polish nationals in A-class and 15-metre class with the local gliding championships. An amazing amount of pilots, 76 in total, are competing right now, and they'll finish on Saturday. Because the weather is producing great thermal conditions, the pilots have flown quite a few tasks already, with up to 300-kilometre routes. What is even more optimistic in the context of coronavirus is that they also have pilots from Lithuania and Croatia in the event. A few weeks ago we informed you that the oldest air sport in the world, the legendary Coupe du Monde Gordon Bennett 2020 Gas Balloon Championships in Warsaw, Poland, was postponed till next year. Now we have better news coming from this country. We have official confirmation that the Leszno Balloon Cup will take place from the 9th to the 12th of September this year. Authorities from Leszno decided also to take over the organisation of the Polish Hot Air Balloon Championships. Unfortunately, due to the epidemic restrictions that are still valid in Poland, the number of crews has been limited to a maximum of 45. Whoever will be the fastest with the registration process is in. The pandemic situation also forces organisers to introduce sanitary restrictions. The crew can have a maximum of 4 people, and it will be obligatory to have mouth and nose masks during all of the event. Now news on an exciting and ambitious skydiving project. Project 19's mission is to encourage women worldwide to dream big and live a brave life. On the 101st anniversary of the 19th Amendment to the US Constitution, they will attempt to build a 101-way women's world vertical record. I spoke with organisers Sarah Curtis and Amy Chemlecki.
Where do you start with jumping out of planes with parachuting? There's so many different bits of it. Tell me a bit about the team that you did and what that is, how you compete.
Well, the team that Amy and I were both on that started in 2006 was called Arizona Arsenal, and it was a free fall discipline in skydiving. So it's the part of skydiving from the exit to when you open your canopy. And what we would do is jump out 4 people together with a camera person as a team, the camera person's filming the 4 people, and the 4 people are flying on their heads or on their feet in relation to the relative wind, so that's pretty fast, and doing set maneuvers for time.
You come up with the idea of this Project 19, celebrating the 19th Amendment. It's 100 years this year, 101 years next year. How did that idea come about?
Well, every few years, usually about every 3 or 4 years now for the past while, Amy and I, with the help of Melissa and several other top free fly ladies, have been running vertical world records for women. So it was something we were planning on doing anyway, but we actually had the WSN approach us and say, hey, we want to do a 100-way to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. Is that even possible? And we were like, wow, what a great idea. We got to think about it because it's going to be a big jump from, 63 to 100. So we talked it over and worked with the WSN and decided to go for it.
We are taking our sport and combining it with a purpose that we've all stood for. You know, we want to see more women in the sport. We want to kind of promote these ideas of equality at large, and we're able to kind of use our sport and our voice at the same time, and alongside of the mission of like showcasing what we do, and then also encouraging people to go out there and vote. It's just like a win-win all around for all of the things we love combined into one, and purpose and our sport. And
Want to see the full interview with Sarah and Amy? You can watch it on our Air Sports Promotion YouTube channel. Do you remember a great interview with the team from the Aero Superbatic Wing Walkers? Well, you can watch that on our YouTube channel as well. But if you want to watch them live, it will be possible during the Shuttleworth Air Show, the first air show in the UK for a long time. But again, it won't be a normal event. A Shuttleworth socially distanced driving air show with an At the Movies theme will take place on the 2nd of August 2020. Drive in and set up your picnic next to your vehicle. Authorities suggest you bring an FM radio to tune into the commentary and pre-show music before a flying display program of some of the best loved aircraft. It will be a great occasion to enjoy the unmistakable sound of Spitfire and other aircraft, with wing walkers included. The FAI announced that a deadline for submitting young modelers to the Aero Modelling Scholarship Programme is slowly approaching. This is a chance for young athletes to get a scholarship of €2,000. Since 2011, a scholarship is awarded to pilots aged between 16 and 21. The level of achievement from the nominated pilots is, of course, very high. To win, they must have a solid foundation in their education, plans for their future education, and high results in their flying. Many of the winners continue to win big events after receiving the scholarship. The chairman of the CIAM Education Subcommittee, together with 8 education experts from around the world, evaluate the nominations before suggesting a winner. Deadline for submissions is the 15th of November 2020. As the skies continue to open up around the world, I spoke with Dutch hang glider and skydiver Wim de Geer about the current situation in the Netherlands.
There's something special about you in so much that you're taking part regularly in 2 air sports.
Yes, actually 3.
Well, I know about skydiving, I know about hang gliding. What's the other one?
That's mosquito flying. That's actually is also hang gliding, but I take off from the ground like a goose, a run,
Yes.
and then I have an engine behind, and then I fly like a bird.
Right now in air sports in the Netherlands, are you back in the skies? Everything's open again?
Yes, actually the skies opened 3-4 weeks ago, as I'm also the chairman for hang gliding, so I was very much involved in the discussion and to open our sports again. I was able to fly with my Mosquito as I'm totally self-supported. So when I walk outside of my house, I can just go to a small airfield, just the grass of a farmer, and then I can run, walk, and I fly myself. So that was really allowed. So even during the pandemic, skydiving was not, of course, as you know, but we started, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So I have been skydiving for a day, and this Sunday I go again with a couple of friends.
Are you involved with first-timers, with new people?
I'm the chairman of the Dutch Hang Gliding Association, so I'm involved actually more marketing-wise to as the hang gliding sport is actually going down in the Netherlands. A lot of people go to Paderpand or to fly with big canopies, of course, from mountains. With hang gliding, it's a little bit more difficult, so you see actually that less and less people take that opportunity and to jump in our sport, and I made a decision to turn it around. So we have a huge marketing campaign at the moment running in the Netherlands, and to have some more pilots into the air.
It sounds like something that I really want to try. I think if I find myself back in the UK, I'm going to look up the clubs there. But I'm sure around here in Montreal there must be clubs as well.
Sure. It is absolutely the case that that's possible.
And of course, you can watch the full interview with Wim on our YouTube channel. We don't have any paragliding or powered paragliding news this week, but we caught up with great Polish PPG athlete Wojciech Bogdał in his hometown to ask a few questions about his plans for the future.
Jeżeli chodzi o moje latanie, to akurat ono się rozwija, może niekoniecznie motoparalotniarstwo, a w tej chwili szczególnie loty śmigłowcem. Także cały czas tych godzin przybywa, tego latania jest coraz więcej. Jeżeli chodzi o moje latanie na motoparalotni, to niestety sezon ruszył bardzo późno, bo praktycznie w połowie czerwca to wszystko zaczęło funkcjonować. I powiem szczerze, że tak naprawdę to jest początek sezonu. I dopiero w połowie sierpnia będą pierwsze organizowane zawody Mistrzostwa Polski, teraz są jakieś treningi, także wszystko naprawdę się bardzo opóźniło. Niestety w tym roku też nie będzie żadnych imprez międzynarodowych, tylko Mistrzostwa Polski. Wiadomo, że lepiej jest, jak się rywalizuje, widząc swojego przeciwnika i podpatrując go, widząc jak on daną trasę przelatuje, jaką bierze poprawkę na wiatr, jak uwzględnia wszystkie warunki atmosferyczne i jak wykorzystuje sprzęt. No, dlatego jest zdecydowanie łatwiej niż po prostu trenować samodzielnie.
So one of the most surreal locations to do a skydive is over the desert, and I've made a few over the sands of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and now you have a chance to do just this. Skydive Dubai has started accepting new admissions to the accelerated freefall course at the amazing desert drop zone. With training on the ground and in the wind tunnel in Flight Dubai, they will then move on to the skydiving part of the course, which comprises 7 levels. And I promise you this will be an adventure of your lifetime. Have a look at their website and see if there are some places left for you. The first course begins on the 24th of July. Great news comes from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, US. The Experimental Aviation Association Museum is ready to reopen after the pandemic lockdown. According to government advice, capacity of the museum will be limited. From the 3rd to the 31st of August, only 150 people can visit the museum at any one time, with groups divided of 10 or fewer. Then from September to October, total guest numbers will be increased to 250 people. If the pandemic situation stays stable, from the 1st of November, the museum will be open without limitations. We're keeping our fingers crossed for you guys. The BBC Brit TV channel announces that it will re-show the premiere of Red Arrows in America. The episodes will start on August 3rd. The Red Arrows is an elite aerobatic team from the Royal Air Force of Great Britain. It is famous for its spectacular sky maneuvers. A series of episodes tells a story about the amazing Red Arrows tour across the United States in 2018. Have nothing to do on Monday evenings? Now you have. If you're a high-speed flying enthusiast, well, you can buy a fast-flying plane. That's the only option? Oh no. A few days ago, Sonic's aircraft announced that it is now offering plans and parts for the Sonorai aircraft, and that means that you can now build your own. Featuring a folded wing design, the Sonorai cruises at 150 to 170 miles per hour, depending on your engine choice. It has a range of 325 miles and a useful load of 260 pounds. Sonics is offering the Sonorai plans for only $145. According to the company, build costs are estimated at around $21,000 US. And now it's time for our Hero of the Week, and I'm sure this one will be the most epic one ever mentioned. On the 20th of July 1969, Commander Neil Armstrong and lunar module pilot Buzz Aldrin formed the American crew that landed the Apollo 11 lunar module Eagle on the moon. Armstrong became the first person to step onto the lunar surface. Aldrin joined him 20 minutes later. They spent about 2¼ hours together outside the spacecraft, and they collected 48 pounds of lunar material to bring back to Earth. Armstrong's first step onto the lunar surface was broadcast on live TV to a worldwide audience. He described the event as one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Apollo 11 effectively ended the space race and fulfilled a national goal proposed in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy to landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. On the 18th of July 1975, one of the most popular aerobatic airplanes, the Zlin 50, made its first flight. During the design phase, computer optimization was used to achieve the desired aerodynamic characteristics for the first time in Czechoslovakian history. Many air display teams still use this aircraft. On the 19th of July 1895, the famous Australian World War I fighter pilot Robert Little was born. He is generally regarded as the most successful Australian flying ace, with an official tally of 47 victories. On the 9th of July 1963, American pilot Joe Walker exceeded an altitude of 100 kilometers on the test rocket plane, the X-15. That height is considered as the edge of space. Ian's altitude record remained unbeaten by any piloted aircraft except the Space Shuttle until the Spaceship One's private suborbital flight in 2004. On the 22nd of July 1933, the legendary pilot Wiley Post began the first ever solo flight around the world. He flew 25,100 kilometers in 7 days, 18 hours and 45 minutes. On the 22nd of July 1895, Paul Osmovich Sukhoi was born. He was one of the most recognizable Soviet aeroplane designers. Most of the Russian fighter jets, including the legendary Su-27 and the Su-35, are named after him. On the 24th of July 1897, Amelia Mary Earhart was born. She was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She also set many other records and wrote best-selling books about her flying experiences. That's all for today. Don't forget to write to us at news@airsportspromotion.com if you have any interesting aviation news that you want to share with us. I'm also available, of course, on Twitter. We'll see you here next week. And remember, stay safe and keep your eyes on the skies. It's great to hear that in Poland,